Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Brandon Wynn, back again with Critical Failure, and this one's going to be like a whatever number of DM tips that I can come up with. Probably not a high amount, uh, because I'm currently tired and honestly just want to get recording done with. But I just did the five player character tips that I just did, which I believe were pretty good. And this one's going to be similar, more important stuff that I can think of. First one, as a DM, try to make a lot of actual history. Now, of course, that's going to change based off of your stuff, but try to make history. That's a big thing. Like, I care more about what's happened prior to the campaign than I do, like, establish large cities. You can come up with a lot of stuff on the fly. Improv does that for you. I have a lot of unnamed things, and surprisingly, my characters really enjoy it. Like, I barely name shit. And it's really nice. Like, if someone asks, I'll be like, yeah, it's bumfuck, whatever. But try to come up with a lot of stuff. So far, I have come up with a lot of history that's actually really not a lot, but on paper it's not a lot, but it's like being able to express it sounds like a lot more than what it is. It has a lot of fundamental hate of what's going on, mainly since the fact that they were, for my campaign, the races were at war separately, and then there was a huge issue to where, like, they used to ally with one another against one race, and then that race would get with another, into which they all eventually ganged up on the hobgoblins for doing a basic lie on all of them. And a lot of people don't like it when you fool a group of people, unless it's like a magic show, which it's not that. So they kind of got pissed off and betrayed them and squashed them, and then the hobgoblins decided to gather other resources, as in other races and people who were scorned by the Imperium, and then rose up and defeated the fuck out of them, into which they are brink of extinction. Uh, into which, inherently they don't necessarily hate each other. It's just a history war. That's really all it is. And the funny thing is that I came up with that. I've had this running thing for a couple years, and I stopped working on it for several years, and then I come back to it and I'm able to play it. And a lot of my current lore, that's like modern day, like as a modern day of the campaign, is being made up on the fly. I know Edward wants to go back in time to make a character who is fighting for Mulgarath, into which that will ultimately sculpt a lot of my current stuff, into which they will be like, yeah, you heard of this character or this person who was like this race who ended up like defeating this person, and it's like really important and all that jazz, which I like a lot, because that means I can run off of my normal game session, well, like a singular session. And it's honestly really important, because I told him, I was like, look, if you die, you die. But I would like to make him a high level character and have the party end up facing him, either kill him or turn him against the army, and it's up to him on really what would happen. I don't think he would, but kill his character eventually, and it'd be pretty neat. Uh, but that's like one thing, make history. Number two, try to come up with a decent sized list of, like, obviously places of bars, like taverns, uh, inns, kind of some cities. I try to do 10 to 20 of each, and then I would say come up with like a list of names with their class, their level, and then that's really it. Maybe some base HP. I usually don't make character sheets on them, but it'll at least help you with power scaling. It's like, oh, they're like talking to a level 15 character. Guess what? Super strong. They're not really going to do much damage against him. His AC is probably a lot higher, and he probably has a couple magic weapons. He'd be able to wipe the floor with 5 level 2 characters as a level 15 guy. They took care of a challenge rating 6 guy like super fast. Like, so I've seen it not work in my favor anyways. That's an important thing. Try to list some, like, generic names of things. Uh, Number 3, plan, and this is for my type of DMing skill, it might not be yours. Do not sit still with wanting absolutely one thing to happen very quickly. I have been planning for the LaFlora incident for fucking, like, to happen for at least the last 4 sessions, into which these sessions are 3 hours long. They happen once a week, and I've had, I think, the last 4 weeks I've actually had 5 sessions. It has still not happened yet. I've been planning for a while. They finally are going to LaFlora, and guess what? I have already thrown a bone to one of the other characters saying, hey, go to this location instead. It's not for real, excuse me, any real reason. It's just to add to the story, into which it might not be 6. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, you don't always know what will happen. Like, what I thought was going to be like a 1 game thing turned into a technically 4 session related event. and everyone enjoyed it. Like, shit, I'm not even lying. The Night of the Living Dead thing was impressive. Everyone enjoyed that. And it's funny because, you know, I'm making a joke on the Night of the Living Dead. It wasn't intentional at first until I realized what was going on, but it happens, you know? And, you know, if you like that type of thing, making recurring, like, pop culture jokes, then do it. Like, shit, I've made references to my other campaigns, even if only one person understands it. It's funny, but it happens. Four, try to make sure that the characters do stuff that makes sense for them. One thing that I'm currently doing is I'm curb stomping a lot of stuff that players are saying outside of campaign that they're going to make their characters do in campaign. I'm sorry, Damien, which is Edward, and Atrix, who is Demetrius, their characters known each other 4 days. They're not going to automatically want to start an undead fucking civilization together. It makes no fucking sense. They said they're going to be trying to put that in the works. Doesn't make sense. First of all, Edward's a necromancer, and fighter? No, he's a necromancer blood hunter. And then Dimitri's character, Atrix, is a sorcerer fighter. So what they want to do is have Damien teach Atrix necromancy. You don't necessarily see that going on really quickly because he barely knows his fucking spell list as is. He could through time. He still has to put the money in. He still has to put the effort. He's going to have to roll to learn these things, into which he's going to have to do 3 Arcana checks. If he cannot get it within his level, like whatever, how long that is, if he cannot do it at least 3 checks within a week. If he cannot get a certain percentile or above, he's not allowed to learn that spell until his next level. That is how I'm running it. Edward already had to do this for the spell Healing Word because he doesn't have healing spells. Now, note, it costs, I think, double the amount that you would have to normally do to learn the spell, and then, of course, these things. Now, these are for things that you normally wouldn't learn. You're not allowed to really learn spells above your thing yet, as per normal, and, you know, normal shit like that. But, you know, give them a bone every once in a while. Let them do that type of stuff, and don't let it kind of, you know, get too far. I'm going to allow the necromancy thing within reason, but the entire rule of fucking, or like make your own dead civilization and start working together pretty quickly does not make sense. Like Atrix so far barely trusts anyone. He likes Damien to a degree because Damien's the only person willing to heal him with necrotic damage. And Damien, his only real reason for liking Atrix is because his father created Atrix. And it's kind of like a science experiment. So he's like, all right, I got to figure out what's going on. Because Damien remembers Atrix. So that's the entire thing. And Atrix doesn't know Damien does this. So he just thinks of it's normal. But yeah, those are some normal things that I've kind of came up with. I think that's 4. So there's 4 DM tips. I know that the last one kind of was a little bit of a rant, but you know, keep a lid on things. But yeah, try to give them a bone every once in a while. Let them have some fun. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.